In today's video, we will learn how to create an animated login form with validation using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. My goal with this channel is to post videos on different topics every week. This will help you to become a full stack developer. It's important to keep watching this step-by-step tutorial until the end. Here on the screen, you can see the animated login form with an error message displayed. The first error message is please enter valid email address, and then second message is please enter password. Along with this, we have a options for remember me and forget password. Once the user enters their email and password, this form will check and return a response with validation. So for that, I will navigate to the email address. Inside that, it will show the placeholder. Please enter email. So I will add the text over here and I will navigate to the next text box. Still the error is shows because we need to enter a valid email address. We need to follow the pattern of email address. So for that, I will add test at mail.com. If I navigate now, the tool will check and it will set to validate icon to this. And then the next thing is password. Please enter password. So for that, I will add a password and I will navigate. Now that form will automatically check and it's set to validate. If I remove, again I will jump. Now it's set to the error shows please enter password. And I will hit the password and I will navigate. Now you can able to see the validation to it. Once the user enters valid data and it login, the form will verify their authentication. Now if I click login, the tool will check authenticating, login successful, welcome back, and then login. At the moment, we are not linked to the backend. So this magic is done through JavaScript. We will implement it in the upcoming videos. Before beginning this video, I would like to introduce myself as Sharat Chandar K. Most of you are watching my videos without subscribing. So please subscribe to our channel and like this video to encourage me. Let's build our own. Here in my desktop, I have already created a project folder name called animated login form. Let me open this into a Visual Studio Code. So for that, I will drag this directly into a Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code will automatically load all the files inside it. Inside the directory, I have already created a index.html, style.css and script.js along with the background image. And inside the index.html, we are going to add the HTML boilerplate. For that, we have a embed abbreviation, type exclamation mark and hit enter. It will automatically create a HTML boilerplate inside it. And then we'll change the title to animated login form by Sharat Chandar K. And then we'll link other two files into the index.html. For that, in the header tag, we are going to link this file with the help of embed abbreviation with link colon CSS. If it enter, it will automatically create a link tag with the href of style.css. Link tag defines the relationship between current document and an external resource. And now we'll link the script file into the header tag. For that, we have another abbreviation with script colon source. And it enter, it will create a script tag with the source attribute. And we need to manually type the script file for us script.js. A script tag is used to embed an client-side script or it's point to an external script file through the source attribute. And here we'll add the differ keyword. Differ is a boolean keyword. This will help us to load the script file once the page has paused the loading. And inside the body, we are going to add the HTML element. Body element contains all the content of an HTML document. Inside that, we are going to add the div. Div tag defines a division or a session in an HTML document. For adding the div, we have a abbreviation with div. I'm going to set the div with class called container. If I hit enter, it will create a div tag with a class attribute with the value of container. And then inside this, we are going to add the login area. For that, I will create one more div with class name called login area, and then I need to set the ID for this. For setting the ID, I need to add the hash and then I can say ID name called login area. If I hit enter, it will automatically create a div tag with the class attribute with a value of login area and then ID attribute with the value of login area. And then inside this, I will add the h1 says login. H tags are used to define HTML headings. Now let us see our HTML file in action. So for that we have a Visual Studio Code extension called Go Live. In the status bar we can see the Go Live. If we click this, Visual Studio Code will automatically load our project into our default browser. What is Go Live? Generally, when we make any changes into our code, to see those changes, we need to manually refresh the page, right? For that, live server coming to the picture. If you add anything in the project, login now. If I save, now you can able to see the changes instantly into the default browser. That is how our live server will work. If I save, now you can able to see this again. Now we'll add the form control to it. So for that, I will add one more div with the class of form control. If I hit enter, it will create a div with the class. Inside that, I'm going to add the input. Input tag specifies an input field where the user can enter data. So again, we have a abbreviation with input. We are going to add the input type as text with the ID of email. If I hit, it will automatically create an input tag, and then we'll add the placeholder called please enter email. If I save, now you can able to see the changes instantly. And then we'll add the same thing for the password. Instead of text, we'll change these things to password. If I save, please enter password. Now if it is a text, we can able to see the text. If it is a password, we can't able to see the password in the text area. Now we'll style this form with the help of style.css. I will jump to the style.css. Here we'll add the asterisk. That means all element. We need to set margin and padding globally to 0. So for that we are using this asterisk. I will set the margin to 0 px and then padding to 0 px and then box sizing border box. If I save, now you can able to see the changes. It resets margin and padding to 0. I will add the font family Poppins and then I will add the import URL to the Poppins. If I save, now you can able to see the font changes here. And then I will add the styles to the body. So we have a selector to the body. This will set the style to the entire body. So for that I will add the min height of 100 VH. VH is an viewport height. I need to set this login into the center of the screen. So for that I will use display flags, align item center, justify content center. If I save, now you can able to see the container into the center of the screen. And then I need to set the background image with the help of background image with URL. Already we have placed the image into the directory. The image name is loginbg.png. If I save, now you can able to see the image, but we need to set this background size to background size to cover. If I save, now you can able to see the image to it. And then now we'll style the container. So for that, if I add the styles to the container, we have already added a class. With the help of class with dot selector and then container, add the styles to it. I will add the width of 400 px and I will set the outer spacing of margin 15 px and then I will set border 2 px solid light gray color. If I save, now you can able to see the styles and then I will add the border radius to 10 px and then I will add the background color and then we'll set the backdrop filter to blur of 10 px. If I save, now you can able to see the blur to this container. Now we'll style this login area. So again in the login area with the help of class value and I will set the text align center and then border radius 1 px and then margin bottom to 5 px and then inner spacing padding to 30 px. If I save, now you can able to see the login area into the center of the container. And now we'll style the h1. So for that, inside the login area, the h1 is present. So with the help of this login area, and I will mention h1 and I will set the color to white. Now you can able to see the color to it. And now we'll jump into index.html. We are going to style this form control. Again, I will jump into the style.css, I will add the selector with form control. We'll set the margin 20 px to top and bottom, and then right and left to 0. And then we'll set the position relative, and then we'll set color to white. If I save, now you can able to see the space in between this. Now we'll style the styles to the input class. So for that, again I will jump into the style.css for the same form control to input. If you add these styles, it will applicable to all the input box inside the form control. So for that, I will add the width of 100 percentage, and then I will say max width to 350 px, inner spacing of padding 10 px, top and bottom, right and left to 0, and then font size to 16 px, and then we'll remove the border to none, and we'll set the outline to none, and then we'll set the border bottom to px solid with light blue color, and then we'll set the background to transparent, and then we'll set the color of text with white. If I save, now you can able to see the style. Please enter email, please enter password, and I will set the form control label here. Again I will jump here. Here we need to set the label for the email and password. So for that I will add the label called email. I will remove this, and again the same thing, label password. If I save, now you can able to see the labels. We need to set the animation to this label once we click the over here. So for that, again I will jump into the style.css and will style the label for this. We are going to style the label inside the form control. So I will add the entire class selector of form control and then label, and I will set the position to absolute. If I save, now you can see the position of the label here, and I will set top to 0 and then left to 0. If I save, now you can able to see this padding inner space 10 px, top and bottom and right and left to 0, and then font size to 16 px, and then we'll set color to white, and we'll add the animation with transition 0.5 second. So I say, now you can able to see that animation here. So once we click this, then only we are going to show the placeholder here. So for that I need to hide the placeholder. We have a class selector with input. We'll add the placeholder opacity to 0. If I save, now you can't able to see the placeholder here. Whenever we focus, the label animation will begin. So for that, again, we'll add the form control with input focus. We'll add the label, set the top minus 20 px, and then same left to 0, and then color white. If I save, if I over, now you can able to see the animation effect here. Now I will reduce the font size to 12 px. Now you can able to see the animation effect. And then once we over, we need to show the placeholder, right? So for that, again with the same option of form control, input focus with placeholder. When the input as focus, set the placeholder font size of 12 px, and then color should be white, and then transition to 0.5 second, and then we'll set the opacity to 1. If I save, if I focus, now you can able to see the transition to it whenever we focus. Again, I will jump into the index.html. Now we'll add the icons to it. So for that, we are going to use the font awesome icon CDN. CDN is a content delivery network. With the help of this, we are going to use this font awesome icons. Here in the header, I'm going to add the link tag. This link is an CDN. This should directly use the source from the font awesome. This is a content delivery network. It will be reach to their network, and we will get the fonts. We can use like this, or we can download this file and we can initialize like style.css. If we are using like this, we need an internet connection to access their source file. So now we are going to add the icon with class of FA contains font awesome and then FA envelope. If I save, now you can see the mail icon here. The same thing I will add for I class font awesome and FA lock. So here we can able to check this. This is what the icon I have used. I will go here. Now we need to set this icon into the same line of the email and password. So again, I will jump to the style.css here with the same form control I. This style will applicable for all the I tag. So here again, I will set the position to absolute and then we'll set right 5 px and then bottom of 10 px and then we'll set the color to white. If I save, now you can able to see this. So whenever we over this, we need to show the information icon. So for that, I will set the cursor to help. If I save, now whenever we over, we can get that information icon. Again, I will jump into the index.html. I will add the form control again with the help of div dot form control. Hit enter. It will create a div tag. Inside that, we are going to add one more div with forget. I'll hit enter and then we'll add label for remember. Inside that, we are going to add the input checkbox with the ID of remember. If I hit enter, it will automatically create a input type with checkbox and then ID of remember. If I save, now you can able to see the checkbox here and then we'll add the text called remember me. If I save, now you can able to see the remember me here and then we'll add the href for forget password, a tag of JavaScript void and I will say forget password. If I save, now you can able to see this. Again, I will jump to the style.css to style this element. We have already added a class for forget and I will style this with the help of class attribute with will set display flags. We need to set these two element into the center of the div and then I need to set this justify content space between. We'll set align item center and I will set the font size 14 px and then now we'll add the styles to the label of the forget. We'll set the position to unset. If I save, now you can able to see this and then we'll set the cursor to pointer and we'll set display flags. We'll add the gap of 5 px and then we'll select the user select none and then font size 14 px and then now we'll add the styles to the forget password. Again, form control a attribute will set the text decoration none and then color should be white. If I save, now you can able to see this text decoration. If I save, now you can't able to see that because of this form control style. This remember me is taking big, so we can fix this with the help of type selection. Type equal to text and then this is applicable for only text and password. If I save, now you can see this style. This is applicable only for text and password. We have removed this style for the remember me. And then now we'll add the login button here. So for that again I will jump into the index.html. I will add the form control here with the help of div dot form control. Inside that we'll add the button ID of login and then value contains login. If I save, now you can able to see the login button here. Now we'll style this login button. I will jump to the style.css with the help of form control with button. We'll add the width of 65 percentage and I will say height of 45 px and then we'll add the transition to 0.5 second and then we'll add the border radius to 20 px. I will reset the border to none and I will reset the outline to none and then cursor to pointer. If I save, now you can able to see the styles here and then I will add the overstyle to this with the help of button hover, and I will add the width of 100 px, and then I will set the transition smooth to 0.5 second. Once we hover, we can able to see this button is extending to 100%. Right. Now we have completed the design. Now we need to add the validation message to it. Once we enter, this email should be in top of this, and we'll log in and we'll do the authentication. These things we need to do from the script.js. So for that, I will jump into the script.js. Here in the script.js, we are going to declare the declaration with the help of document. I will add the const declaration with email. Will set document. Document is the owner of all other object in your web page. If you want to access any element in an HTML page, you always start with accessing the document object with the help of get element by ID. The easiest way to find an HTML element in the DOM is by using the element ID. So first I will add the declaration to this particular email. We have already added a ID of email. I will place this inside this, and I will add the another declaration with same const called password. Again document dot get element by ID, and for this we'll change the ID to password, and I will add the password here, and then we need to add few more IDs to these icons. We need to change these icons based on the validations. For that I will add the ID of email error for the email, and then ID of password error, and I will declare the same here email error equal to document dot get element by ID password for document dot get element by ID with the password, and then we'll add the login area document dot get element by ID of login area, and then we'll add the button ID here. So with the help of login document dot get element by ID say login. That's all for the declaration. Now we'll add the functions. Function is a block of code to design the perform the particular task. With the help of function keyword, I will say check field empty. The parameter of object e, and then we'll add another function with the keyword of function. We'll say function email. We'll add another function with password. We'll add another function with do validate. That's all for the declaration. Now we'll start adding the functionalities to it. So whenever we add these values to this label should be set to valid, and it should be stop at the top, right? So for that, with the help of check field empty, we are going to do this operation. For that, I will jump into the index.html. We'll add this on the blur. A blur is a function. When the focus is loose on the input, it will fires on blur, and I will say this check empty fields, and then we'll pause this entire object with the help of this, and I will copy this same. I will paste for password too. If I save, and inside this I will add the console.log of e. If I save, I will add F12 to check this console.log. So here if I focus here and I will tab, now the focus is left. Whenever the focus left on the each element, we can get this entire object. That is how the this will work, and with the help of this we are going to set this valid. So I will add the if condition. We'll check e dot value not equal to null, else if it is not equal to null, then we'll add the class to it. Class list dot add will add the class of valid, and then same thing. If not, we'll remove the class list valid. Now again I will in the element I will focus to this. Will check the class is adding or not. So here this is the input element. I will came here and I will simply navigate. Now there is nothing happen. So once I will hit text, and if I navigate, now you can able to see the class is added. Again if I remove, now the class is removed. With the help of this class we are going to set this style. So for that again I will jump into the style.css to add the style suite. For that, I will set this valid directly valid to all the label. Will set top 20 px, then left 0 px, and then we'll set the color of light blue color, and then we'll change the font size to 14 from 12. If I save, now if I refresh, if I over, now we can get this. If I enter any of the text, still it's not happening. Sorry, instead of 20, we'll say minus 20 px. If I remove the label is on top of the input, if I add the text, now it will place on top of the value. The same thing for both the inputs. That is how the validation will work. Now we are going to check the validation with email and password. Again, I will jump into the script.js. We'll go to the check email method. Before that, we need to add this do validate into the index.html with the help of on click, and I will place this do validate. We'll add the pattern as I said in the demo. We are going to check the pattern of the email. So for that, I will add the let declaration with pattern. We have a regex pattern for the email validation. I will copy that regex pattern and will check this regex pattern with the help of email. We have already added a declaration with email. Will set the value and will check the match of this particular pattern. If this matches, we are going to set to validate, else we are going to set to error. So inside this, we are going to add the error message, right? So for that, I will add the email.set attribute. Inside that, I will add the style of border bottom 2px solid light blue color. If the pattern is not matches, then we'll set the border bottom of red color. If I save, if I go here, nothing will happen because we need to invoke this method into the do validate. Whenever we click this login, then only we are going to check this pattern match, right? So I will call this inside the do validate. If I hit, now you can able to see the border bottom with the red color. If I hit enter, if I will type something and I will hit login again, now the still the pattern is not matches, so it will throw the error. If I hit now you can get this validation. The same thing will do for the password too. For the password, if password dot value double equal to null, we'll do the same thing. Instead of email, we'll set the password here. So again, I will invoke this check password method here. I will hit login now. Now you can able to see the border red here. If I type something, again I will hit. Now the password is valid. We need to add the pattern, and if I hit login, still it was not match because we need to add the pattern. Now it was matches. So whenever we added and we left the focus, that time also we need to check this validate. So for that, already we have added a blur event here. Inside that, we'll add the check email to with the help of comma. The same thing for check password. This is check password and this is check email. If I save, if I focus, if I left the focus, we will get the error message. And now we need to change this icon to error message and will display the error there. So for that, again I will jump into the script.js. Here in the email pattern, if this is matches, we'll set the email error because we have already added a icon to email error. Dot set attribute will add the class attribute with font awesome FA circle check. If I save, I will add test.123.com. Now you can able to see this envelope change to circle check, and then we'll add the color to it. Email error dot set attribute style will set the color to green color. Now test.123. Sorry, I have missed that hash. Test@123.com. Now you can able to see the green color to it. And then same thing will do for error too. If error happen, we'll add the email error dot set attribute of class. We'll set the font awesome fa circle exclamation. If I save, Now if I go, now you can able to see the exclamation here. And then we'll add the styles to it with the help of style color, and then we'll add the red color to it. Now you can able to see the red color to this. And then now once we over, we need to set the validation message, right? So for that, we'll add the email error dot. We'll set attribute of URI label. We'll say please enter valid email address. If I save, we have added that label. See, now you can able to see this label here. Please enter valid email address. We need to show this pop-up with the help of style. And then now in the above, we'll remove that label. Once this is paused, we'll do the same thing to the password too. So for that, I will copy this and I will change instead of password error to pass error, because we are going to set this to the password. And again here and in the error side, I will I will remove the label. Once this paused, else we'll add the label of error, and then we'll say please enter password. If I save, instead of email, I will change this to pass error. If I save, now you can able to see this. I will go here. Now we can able to see the error, and it has added the label to. Now we'll style the label to show as a tooltip. So for that, I will jump into the style.css. We have added this URL label to the I element, right? So we'll add the styles after this, and then we'll say opacity to 0, and we'll say the content will get the content of attribute from the URL label, and then we'll set the position to absolute, and I will set right to 20 px, and then top 0, padding of inner spacing 5 px, and then white space no wrap, and then we'll add the background to light red color, and then we'll set the color to white, and then we'll set the font size 10 px, border radius 5 px, and then font family Poppins, and then transition opacity to 0.2 seconds. If I save, if I over, now you can able to see this, because I have added this on the after. If I go here, now you can able to see this. If I remove this opacity, now you can able to see the error both on the side. Now we need to display this. Whenever we need to over this, then only we are going to display the error message, right? So for that, again with the I element, URI label will set over, and then we'll set after, because we are going to show that after opacity to 1, and then transition delay 0.2 second. If I save, now this is the error. If I go here, now you can able to see this smooth transition on over. If I log in, nothing will happen. I will add the test at 123.com, and then 123, and if I hit login, now this both the text box as valid, and now we'll add the JavaScript magic to this to add the authentication. So for that, we need to check this. Once this both is valid, then only we are going to check that. So I will add the let is login equal to, and then I will set this let is password equal to check password. Once this both trues, then only we are going to check this. I will add this in a if condition, and I will return the true false from the validation function. If this is matches, we need to return true from here, and if this is fails, we need to return false here. This will taken care. For that, again the same thing, this is present, return true, and if this fails, we'll set return false, and here we'll add the alert to check this. So again I will jump to the login, and I will type. No, we can't get that because this pattern is not matched. Test at user.com. If I hit login, now this is successful. If I remove the password, and I will hit login. Now we'll not get that. With the help of this, we'll add the functionality authentication once the database is connected. We'll do the same thing in the JavaScript. So for that, once this happen, we'll add the login.inner.html with, we'll add the text authenticating, and we'll add the loader here. I will add the class to FA font awesome spinner, and we'll close the span tag here. If I save, again I will type test at user.com and 123. If I hit login, now you can able to see this text authenticating with the help of inner HTML, and we need to spin this icon, right? So for that, in the font awesome itself, we have a class with font awesome spin, and then we'll add the styles to the Excel size. If I save, again I will add test at 123.com and 123. If it login, now you can able to see this authenticating with the loader, and we need to change this authenticating with the certain time. So for that, right now we have not yet connected with the backend. So I will add the set timeout with the function with 2000 milliseconds. This will set to 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, we'll set login dot inner HTML to login successful. And then again, I will add one more span tag with class. We'll say font awesome check, and then with the Excel size with span tag. I need to add the double quotes here. If I add the email and then password, now if I hit, now it's authenticating, and now login is not defined. If I save, I will add text at 123.com and then password. If I hit login, after 2 seconds, login successful. And again, I can set this login dot set attribute of style with background color. Will set to green color. Then once this happen, again I will set one more set timeout with the function of 1 second. Inside this, we'll remove the email dot value equal to empty, and then email dot class list dot remove valid. The same thing for password. Again, I will jump into the login and I will type the value, and I will hit login, authenticating, login successful. Now both the values removed and we have resetted the form. And then we'll remove the styles, login dot remove attribute of style, because we need to remove the background color. And then we'll set one more set timeout with the function of 1 second, and then login dot inner HTML2, same login again. If I refresh, I will add text at mail.com and then password. If I hit, now it is authenticating, login successful, and then login. It has resetted again. If I over again, now we get the error message and we can't able to authenticate again. Finally, we have completed this beautiful animated login with form validation using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I hope this video will be helpful for you. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel Sarat Chandar K to watch more like this one. If you have any questions or what JavaScript topics do you want us to cover in future videos, drop your suggestions in the comment below. If you are interested in JavaScript projects like this, I have created and added a playlist, link in the description. Please do check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep coding and keep learning. See you in the next video. Happy coding. Bye for now. Have a nice day.